Finally, we have some results from the first One D&D Unearthed Arcana survey about character origins, the backgrounds, races, feats, and some core mechanics in the rules glossary, and I'm going to do my very best to summarize this 37-minute interview that was just released to tell you the most important things we just learned about the future direction of One D&D. And I'd be silly not to mention here that I just released my very own limited edition Bob World Builder metal dice set, and I'm so happy with how they came out, and picking one up with the 18% discount code BOB is a great way to support what I do, so check them out through the link below. About 40,000 people took the survey, and according to Jeremy Crawford, that's way more people, just magnitudes more people than the number that normally takes these surveys. Therefore, the resulting satisfaction score for each mechanic is very robust, in his words. The highest scoring mechanic with an 87% satisfaction from these 40,000 people was giving player characters a level 1 feat as part of their character background. Originally, I just looked at this as pure power creep, but ultimately, I think it's a good way to standardize the features provided by character backgrounds, and so do many other people. Regarding scores in general, Crawford says they aim for 70% satisfaction or higher, meaning the mechanic itself is pretty solid, but the designers need to make some adjustments. 80% or higher generally means people like it as is, though they might change it slightly, and 90% is really rare, similar to 60% or lower, which sometimes means they'll salvage something, but with heavy reworks. And for this UA, there were only 3 mechanics in the 60% satisfaction range, and I know that you know what the lowest scoring mechanic was: critical hits not working for Dungeon Masters, and all 20s succeeding, all natural 1s failing. The other 2 mechanics in the 60s were the Dragonborn and the Ardling. We like that the Dragonborn finally got Dark Vision, but people did not like the Breath Weapon and how things felt like a bit of a step back from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, so Crawford already said that they're going to put reworks of these 2 races in the next UA. And of course, the Ardling was this totally brand new race that came out of nowhere. Is it basically an Aasimar, or is it more like a Beast Folk? Crawford said the results favored the Beast Folk vibe, so that's the direction that they've pushed it for this next UA. Everything else in this survey scored in the 70s or 80s, which is super impressive. The races for humans, dwarves, tieflings, and elves were also in the 80s, and the gnome and halfling tied at 78%, so overall the rest of the races were received very well, and I for one like them a lot. Then Crawford said that the next UA, which may be coming out on December 1st, will be shorter than the previous 2 docs, and that's a little bit annoying because many of us have said that we kinda need more of the game to properly playtest it as a whole game, but it's not happening. That's okay, we'll make do. The next one is gonna be shorter, and it's gonna contain the Cleric class. He wasn't clear if the next one also contains the rest of the Priest class group with Druids and Paladins, but we'll find out very soon. He also said that the Warrior UA coming out later on will include more info about those weapons options, and much later, the home base building options called the Bastion Rules system. Then, Crawford confirmed my loosely made prediction that each class is in fact only getting 4 subclasses in the next player's handbook. So, do we say goodbye to all those wizard schools? They also confirmed that Eldritch Blast will still exist in 1D&D, it's just not on those main spell lists, so it's probably getting added to the Warlock class, and some classes will get unique class spell lists, but not all of them. For example, the Cleric will have access to every single Divine spell, and the Wizard gets access to all the Arcane spells, so they don't need their own class lists. Lastly, they did touch on some mechanics from the second UA, the Expert class group, specifically when asked about the nerfs to Sharpshooter and Great Weapon Master feats. Crawford repeated what I said in my overview video about the UA, how many people looked at those feats, rightly recognized them as being super powerful, and felt forced to choose them. I'm talking about the 2014 versions here. And that goes against their design philosophy for feats, which are supposed to be about augmenting characters in fun directions, not completely supporting the character as a must-have ability. And he restated that the new weapon option stuff will provide other fun options for martial classes. Alright, and when I make another video about this third UA coming out soon, I'll link it here on the screen. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Remember to check out the Bob World Builder dice before they sell out, and keep building.